bookworms, the TBR Is dead. My name is Whitney, and today I have my March TBR for you guys. I'm not very strict on my TBRs. I don't do a game or anything like that. I might in the future once I've worked through what I have on my physical shelves and I'm kind of looking for inspiration on new reads. But right now, I just kind of pull my books that I want to read and I kind of organize them how I want to read them, like in order, and that's kind of my TBR. So if I don't get to some of these books, it's not a huge deal. They'll just be first in line for April. But I thought I would share with you guys kind of what I'm hoping to get to in March. Before we get into it though, if you guys could go ahead and like this video, it really does help out the channel. And then go ahead and make sure you are subscribed. And if you would like to, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when I do upload. I don't have a regular schedule right now, so it's just kind of as I'm feeling it. And I do have some videos that I'm pretty excited for that will be coming out soon, hopefully. So let's go ahead and jump into my projected TBR for March. Now, you can see behind me, I have 17 and a half books on this list. Again, some of these might roll over into April. We'll just have to see how it goes. But these are all the books I already have pulled and lined up to read right now. So the half comes from the book that I already started in February. I actually been reading this one for months now. And that, of course, is The Tenants of Time by Thomas Flanagan. So I have been reading this one for quite a while. I really tried to prioritize it in February, and I actually ended up reading all my other books first, and then I've been really pushing this last week in February to get this one done, which obviously I did not. But I got to the halfway mark, which was quite the accomplishment because this book is so dense. So I have this much left. There's 420 pages left, 20 chapters, and yeah, I'm really hoping that I can push through. There's still a couple days left in February, but I know unless I just really push myself, I'm not going to finish this. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to ruin the enjoyment of the book. Because despite how dense and intimidating it is, I really am enjoying this. I mean, you can see I've marked so many pages of just little bits and such that I wanted to note. So yeah, I'm actually really enjoying this book, but it is dense and it is a little bit overwhelming. So it does take a while to read. Like even a 13-page chapter takes an hour or so to read because it's just so dense. Like the writing's not very big and it's just jam packed in there. So yeah, we'll see how I do on this one, but at least I'm to the halfway mark, and I'm really hoping to devote some time these last few days in February and then finish it up within the first week in March. But I think it's doable. I'm not reading any other books until I finish this one, which is kind of helping motivate me as well. So yeah, excited to finish that one. Next up, after I do finish the Tenants of Time, I'm gonna do another Throwback Thursday. I know I haven't been doing them as regular, but next is the Thoroughbred series. There is 9 books here. And so yeah, I'm planning on reading all these. I think with this one, I should be able to get this series done within a week, a little less than. I'm gonna try to do at least 2 books a day, but I might be able to do more than that. And then of course one book will kind of be left to read on its own, but I'm hoping I can push through and read these fairly quickly. I should be able to. I remember them being fairly easy reads and I really enjoyed them. I'm not planning, there's more in this series, and I'm not planning on getting those. I might get some more of the super editions. This one's Ashleigh's Diary, and there's a couple others because I really liked Ashleigh as the character. When you get later in the series, then the main character is Samantha, I believe. And I don't know, I didn't enjoy her as much. Like I really liked Ashleigh. And so it'll be interesting rereading these. I haven't read them since probably my early 20s. I think I reread them then. But yeah, excited to read these again and just kind of see how I feel about them now that I am an adult, but we shall see. Next up, I want to read one of my 25 Days of Bookmas books. I'm kind of going back and forth between those and my ABC Author Challenge books because I want to complete both those sets this year. So I'm really trying to prioritize those. And so for my 25 Days of Bookmas, my fourth book that I'm going to be reading for that is With No One as Witness by Elizabeth George. This is one I'm not really anticipating enjoying as much. It's kind of lower on the list because I am reading them from least anticipated to most anticipated. And this one, you have Detective Lindley, who sounds like it's kind of a series with this author around that detective. And they are on the hunt for a sinister killer. So, um, sounds like it's kind of a murder mystery thriller type book, but we shall see how I enjoy it because, like I said, I like these types of books when I'm actually reading them, but I tend not to gravitate towards them very much, which is why it's kind of lower on the list. But that will be next up. And then I'm planning on jumping over to one of my series books, which of course I'm working my way through the Dresden File series. And next up is Proven Guilty, which is the eighth book in the series. I really want to try to get two of these books done each month, but with all my other reads, that just isn't looking like it's going to happen. So I'm happy to at least do one a month. And so, yeah, next up, Proven Guilty. In this one, you could have Harry. This is spoilers, so if you aren't familiar with the series or you don't want spoilers because you're earlier on in the series, um, just jump ahead a little bit. But Harry is, of course, now a warden of the White Council, but of course, they still have their issues with each other, and he is assigned to look into rumors of black magic in the Windy City. And as he adjusts to his new role, another problem arrives in the form of his tattooed and pierced daughter, the tattooed and pierced daughter of an old friend, rather, all grown up and already in trouble. I'm assuming that's going to be Michael's daughter. We'll see. I hope it is because I really enjoyed um, that character when she was introduced and such. I kind of liked her sass and attitude and such. Her boyfriend is the only suspect in what looks like a supernatural assault straight out of a horror film. Malevolent entities that feed on fear are also loose in Chicago, but it's all in a day's work for a wizard, his faithful dog, and a talking skull named Bob. So, um, I'm getting kind of burnt out on the series because kind of the tone and the plot lines and everything are very repetitive. But I really enjoyed the last book. I liked there was kind of an internal conflict. What happened at the ending really just kind of took me by surprise, and I ended up really enjoying the ending. So I'm hoping, that kind of refreshed me a little bit, and I'll also enjoy this one. These ones are enjoyable as you read them, but I don't know, it's just they're kind of repetitive as far as plot and tone and such, even though they're different stories. So we'll see how I enjoy it, but that's next up. And then, of course, I'm still trying to work my way through some books that have been on my shelves for years and years. Some of them were gifted to me, some of them were sent in like one of those subscription things that you sign up for. This one I think was a gift from someone, like it was just given to me, and as I was cataloging the books, which that is a video that's going to be coming up, I want to show you how I cataloged my books. But this one is called Ember from the Sun, and it sounded really interesting. I just cataloged it, and it sounded really, really interesting, and so I decided to go ahead and pull this one. I'm going to read the synopsis for you guys, but it says, they called her Ember, the child of their heart, born to surrogate parents who refused to yield her after birth. Raised among Quinault Indians, Ember is as modern as those around her, a young woman struggling with a loneliness and yearning she does not yet understand. Stronger than her classmates, imbued with the power to heal, Ember's soul resounds with the cries and whispers of a time she has never seen, and of a people who beckon her home. Desperate to unravel the mystery of her birth, Ember embarks on a spellbinding journey to find the people who call to her in her dreams. Guided by a shaman who has waited for her return, pursued by the man of science who brought her to life, Ember is drawn to a place where no one else can go, where her ancestors, the golden skinned people of her dreams, wait for her to set them free. So, I don't know, it just sounds really good and it sounds like it's right up my alley. So I'm really excited to read this one for sure. So that will be next on the list. And then I'm going to jump over to another ABC author book. This one is Sue Grafton, which of course is my G author, and it's called T is for Trespass. This one also does sound interesting. This one is so it starts with kind of the narrative of a private eye, which is Kinsey Milhone, and then it shifts to that of Solana Rojas, a chilling sociopath. So Rojas is not her birth name, it is an identity she cunningly stole. An identity that gives her access to private caregiving jobs. So this one sounds really, really interesting, and I hope it is good, but we shall see. And then after that one, I think I will probably jump back to another one from my shelves that I'm trying to get read. And this one also just kind of sounded up my alley, and I just kind of was in the mood for it, I think. And that is Demon's Kiss by Maggie Shane. Another one I just cataloged, so it was definitely fresh in my mind. And it says Seth is new, or sorry, let's start at the top. Even by vampire standards, Reaper is a loner, and his current mission to destroy a gang of rogue bloodsuckers is definitely a one vamp job. Then fate takes a hand, and before he knows it, he's surrounded by a ragtag crew of misfit helpers: the newbie, the princess, the shapeshifter, and the human healer. Seth is new to immortality, but he's sharp and strong, and he'll risk anything for the rogue's strange female captive, a secretive creature he doesn't understand but feels compelled to save. Vixen is confused by the emotions that swirl through her at the sight of her impulsive hero. She only hopes the brutal Gregor and his bloodthirsty renegade will leave her alive long enough to explore them. Or will Reaper himself be the one to destroy them all? So, just a vampire book, kind of in the mood for it. So that will be next up. And then we'll jump back to probably another ABC Author Challenge book. Um, just because this one I've been eyeballing and I just am really excited to read it. And that is Rock with Wings by Anne Hillerman. So this is a detective Leaphorn and Chi novel, which that series was started by her father, Tony Hillerman. And I also have one of his books that I got for my 25 Days of Bookmas books. So that's farther down the line though, because I'm really excited for that one. But yeah, this one, you have Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn and they Detective Chi. And so, doing a good deed for a relative offers the perfect opportunity for Sergeant Jim Chi and his wife, Officer Bernie Manuelito, to get away from the daily grind of police work. But two cases will call them back from their vacation and separate them, one near Shiprock and another at iconic Monument Valley. Chi follows a series of seemingly random, cryptic clues that lead to a missing woman, a cold-blooded thug, and a mysterious mound of dirt and rocks that could be a gravesite. Bernie has her hands full managing the fallout from a drug bust gone wrong, uncovering the origins of a fire in the middle of nowhere, and looking into an ambitious solar energy development with long-ranging consequences for Navajo land. Under the guidance of retired Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn, Bernie and Chi will navigate unexpected obstacles as they confront their greatest challenge yet. So this just it seems like it's going to be really enjoyable. Um, Kind of that Southwest aspect there. You know, I live in New Mexico, so I'm really excited to read this one for sure. So that will be next up. And then lastly, if I have time to get to it, I doubt I'll read both of these, but they go together. And this is another part of my 25 Days of Bookmas. books that I want to get started, hopefully this month, if not first thing next month, and that is the Otherland series by Tad Williams. I have the first two books because my husband and sister-in-law picked out the second book in the series, and it seemed kind of complex, so I wanted to start with the first book. So I went ahead and got that. I did that with several of the books for my 25 days of Bookmas. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to these. The first one is, I forget the name, it's not on the front. City of Golden Shadow is the first one. So I'm hoping to at least start this one in the month of March. And then the next one, of course, is River of Blue Fire. So we will see how that goes. But like I said, I'm not overly worried if I don't get to those ones. And even the Hillerman book, if I don't get to that and it goes into April, that would be fine. But I'm definitely hoping I can get to most of these this month and definitely make a dent on both my ABC Author Challenge and my 25 Days of Bookmas books. So if you've read any of these books, definitely let me know what you thought of them down in the comments. Um, I don't worry about spoilers or anything like that. I like to get others' opinions, and it either makes me more excited for the book or it kind of makes me go in a little bit more realistic as far as expectations. So definitely let me know if you've read any of these or what you're planning to read, what your most anticipated read for the month of March is. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.